Hey everyone, it's Mia from Jedl, and in this video we're going to be going through the role of healthcare services and facilities. An important thing to note is that the key word of the syllabus in this area is evaluate, which requires you to make a judgment on the value of access to healthcare. So that's an important thing to keep in mind when you're writing your study notes, because you will need a little bit more depth in this area of the syllabus. Another tip is to make sure you know the differences between the 5 levels of responsibility. This is something that I think is quite commonly neglected and something that I definitely didn't really get my head around until the end of the course, but it's a common multiple choice question. So just knowing the different characteristics of these 5 levels is quite important. And finally, another area neglected in this part of the syllabus is complementary and alternative healthcare. The verb in this area is critically analysed, so again, you're going to need a little bit more depth in your notes. So yeah, keep that in mind when you're writing them. Let's break down a practice question. This one is, analyse the impact of a growing and ageing population on volunteer organisations, and it's 5 marks. So for the first part of this question, I wrote, volunteering is unpaid willful help given as time, service or skill to a formal organisation. Due to Australia's growing and ageing population, there is an increasing demand for volunteer organisations. For example, food services such as Meals on Wheels play a critical role in supporting the health and well-being of elderly individuals who may lack independence or experience poor quality of life. As you can see, I've highlighted in blue the key areas that I'm really analysing the role of these volunteer organisations. And in this first part of the question, I've put in the example of Meals on Wheels, and again, link this back to the growing and ageing population and the strain that this is placing on the volunteer organisations. For the second part of the question, I said, in addition to community nurses and home care services, e.g. Anglicare, volunteer organisations relieve the strain on the healthcare system and workforce by enhancing the physical and mental health of older Australians. Elderly people are often involved in volunteer organisations, e.g. Easy Care Gardening, which significantly improves the mental health and thus relieves pressure on the healthcare system and workforce by facilitating an opportunity for enhancing social connectivity, mobility, productivity, and reducing public healthcare expenditure. However, in recent years, rates of volunteers have decreased, resulting in a significant pressure for volunteer organisations to cater for the demands of an increasing clientele. Okay, so as you can probably tell, this is quite a long response, and you might think it's a bit much for a 5 marker, but it's important to keep in mind that this is an analysed question, and I've provided a lot of analysis as highlighted in blue again. I've also given 2 more examples in this part of the question. So I've talked about Anglicare and Easy Care Gardening Inc. And another thing to keep in mind in this area of the syllabus is it requires you to draw connections between the left-hand side and the right-hand side. So as you can see, I've also included in this response a little bit of information about the healthcare system, workforce and infrastructure, and link this back to the pressure of volunteer organisations to cater for an increase in clientele. And that's about it for this question. Thanks so much for watching this video, guys. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and check out jedl.com for more resources.